everyone, this is Pallavi. In last video we will see the entire checkout flow. So when the buyer is want to make a payment, he click on a PayPal button. He will click a PayPal button to initiate the payment. Then the buyer then it will display the PayPal JavaScript SDK library, display the PayPal button, and the buyer is able to initiate the payment. So after initiating payment, then the PayPal JavaScript library, it will the checkout browser pop-up button, it will give the checkout pop-up button, and are able to make the create order else via API call. So the create order, then the merchant server will make the create order via this API call, post API /v2 /checkout /orders. So this after this API call, then the order is created. So this API merchant server call will make with the PayPal order API with PayPal. Then the order is created. After creating the order, then the unique generated order ID is returned back. This PayPal order API is returned back to the merchant server. Then the merchant server, it will that order ID is given back to the merchant page, that is the front end page, and the front end page this order ID it will used by the PayPal JavaScript SDK library and will launch the checkout browser pop-up, and through this checkout browser it will give the pop-up. Through this the buyer is able to log in using the username and password. After successful login, then the customer may want to change the address. So the PayPal button, that PayPal JavaScript SDK library, it will inform to the merchant page, that front end page, whether the address was changed or not. So after successful checkout, see here, you after logging, the after checkout is completed, then the order is approved. So the order is approved by the PayPal checkout. Then on approve call, so the on approve call is made by the PayPal JavaScript library, the merchant page. Then the merchant server captures that order. It will make again one API call. The merchant server make the capture order, but it is a post request /v2 /checkout /order, and whatever the order ID which is received in a first API call, that order ID we are using to make the second API call /capture. So this merchant server make the second API call, that is a capture call to the PayPal order. Then the payment is successful. See, the order capture checkout is completed. So this is the entire flow of the PayPal. So now we will implement this entire flow by using the Postman. So we will go through the Stripe documentation. First we understood what is the documentation document. According to that we will make the API call. So here if you observe, in order to make the receipt, we understood this flow whatever it is given by the Stripe documentation, the checkout flow. After that we want to make the API call. So in this REST API call, first we need to set up the account in a PayPal. See, the PayPal API uses REST authenticate with auth A2 access token, return HTTP response code and response encoded in JSON. So you can test UI integration with PayPal. So in order to that, see, if you observing, we need the to get the client ID and client secret, login into a dashboard. So we need to log in. So you select the US, United States, enter your email ID. We will create the account. We will see. will create the account. Okay, so by this way we are able to create the accounts. I already created the account. I will use those accounts only. So in this way we are able to set up the account on a developer page. After creating the account, then you will get a client ID. So you will enter on this page developer.paypal.com/dashboard/application/sandbox. On this page you are getting the app credentials. If you click on this app credential, you are able to see a client ID and secret. Okay, so here we are successfully able to log in and we are able to get the client ID and secret key. So our first procedure, according to the documentation, we will in order to make the API call, we got the client ID and client secret. So to get the access token, now in order to make the API call, first we need the access token. So exchange your client ID and client secret for an access the token. So whatever we received this uh, client ID and secret key. So now we will get the access token by we will follow the whatever the instructions given in this page. The access token authenticates your app when calling a PayPal REST API. You can call the PayPal Auth API. So this is a we are making a Auth API in any language. The following example. So we are able to make a this Auth API call. In order to get the access token, we may use the curl command. So here it is the curl command. Here curl /post/ so again here modify the code. So we are modifying the code. See here the change. We need to change the client ID. So whatever the client ID is given, we need to change whatever we are getting in through our account. This client ID and secret key. We will replace this one. So change the client secret to your client secret ID. So we will go to here further sample response. After making this API call, we will get the sample response. See here, sample response. PayPal returns an access token and the number of seconds the access token is valid. So after making that API call or API call, we will receive one access token and it will expire. Again, it will give the seconds the access token is valid. So mostly this access token is valid. I have tried. So it is 8 to 9 hours this access token is valid. Now we will go through the entire process. So make a API call. When you make a API call, replace this access token with your access token in the authorization header. We need to change in the authorization header. We need to change this bearer access token. So whatever in order to make the API call, whatever this access token we receive, we need to change in our authorization as a bearer access token. When you access a token expires, call again v1 or to token again to request a new access token. So we will go through this, copy this URL, copy whatever the curl command is given, copy this, go to the postman. So I already practiced this one. So this is PayPal or token call. So here if you are observing, so we will make another API call. So import paste the curl command. So here the access token, PayPal access token, PayPal access token. So I will give this as a two. So import in a September 24. Import into a collection. So here if you are observing in a body, so grant type. So it is automatically it will import all these whatever the key value. The key is grant type and value is a client credentials. So as per if you see the documentation, so here grant type and client credential it automatically imported in the postman. Now then if you go to the authorization, so here, so in this authorization if you are observing what it says, when you make API call, replace this access. So we need to replace this client ID and client secret to your in this whatever we are getting the client ID and secret. So go to here API credentials. We logged in and we are getting the client ID. Copy this client ID. Go through the postman. So in authorization, select a basic auth. Basic auth. Then paste the client ID and client secret. Copy this one secret. Go to a postman and paste here. So here if you observe, so in a basic auth, so I have copied this username and password. So here I already make this call. Here also I have made in authorization. I have copied the username and password in a body, the grant type. So we will make the API call. So this second access to I am getting. Then send the request. So here you are getting the error, invalid client, error description, client authentication failed. So we will resolve this error and invalid. If you go through here, so according to that, see here in authorization, see username and password, and in a body we are getting this. We will make this API call. So now then we are getting here, see if you are observing. So we are getting the access token as a bearer and the app ID, and it expires in this 2400 seconds. So we are getting the one access token. So we use this access token in order to make the API call. So go through the documentation. So client ID to your client ID and change client secret to, then make the API call. So same response, whatever it is given here, same response, scope, access token, token type is bearer, app ID we are getting, and we are getting 80 expires in, and so as per the documentation we are receiving the same response here. Okay, then next according to the documentation, after that, after getting the access token, get a sandbox account details credentials. See, good. Get sandbox account credentials. The PayPal sandbox is a test environment that, see, does a real world transactions. So in a sandbox account credentials we are able to make the test transactions. By default, PayPal developer accounts have a two sandbox accounts, a one personal account for buying and a business account for a selling. You will get the login information of both accounts. Watch the sandbox money move between the accounts to REST API calls. So in order to test this PayPal system in a test mode that is called as a sandbox accounts, we are able to check the transactions in a test mode. So the following steps get the sandbox login information for a business. Logging to the developer dashboard. So we are in a developer dashboard. Select the testing tools sandbox account. You can create a more sandbox account by selecting the create account. Locate the account you want to get and see, go to the PayPal number, sign in. So we already signed in. So here, so this is the developer dashboard. So apps are there. Testing tools. In a testing tools, go through a sandbox account. So in this sandbox account, again it is asking login. So in a testing tool, in a sandbox account, you will get, see here if you are observing account name, see here if you are observing, it is given for a personal as well as a business use. The personal example and business. So we are using a personal. So here, so the sandbox URL, email and password. So in order to check the PayPal system, the sandbox mode, here it is given. And again we are able to edit this PayPal balance also. So here if you are observing, we are able to edit this one. So now I am making 5000 USD. So here we are able to change edit the amount also. So this is for testing purpose only. Now go to the documentation in order to make the according to this flow. So we are getting the access token. Then we need to, when the customer click on a PayPal, we need to make a first API call. So go to the documentation here. Now then create order. Click on this create order. So click on a order. Then you will click on a create order. So here according to the Stripe documentation, so an order represents a payment between two or more parties. Use the orders API to create, update, retrieve, authorize and capture the orders. Here, create order. Create an order. Merchants and partners can add a level 2 and 3 data to a payment to reduce a risk and the payment processing cost. For more information about the processing, payment, see checkout and checkout. So here if you are observing in this, here again a curl command is given. See here a curl. This is the curl command. Similarly, how we make the auth auth API call. Similarly, we are making the create order call. Copy this one. Copy this URL. Go to a postman. So go to the postman. Click on an import. paste the URL, select September 24 and here is the PayPal checkout order, PayPal create order, save, import into a collection. So here if you are observing, we are imported in a Postman. So if you observe here body, see, in order to make this call, see, this is the post request. So this is the post request. Here, see, we are getting post checkout orders, and we need to, in authorization also similarly, bearer token. Whatever the token which are received in a first API call, we need to paste here. So whatever the, so in a first API call, in a here token, auth token, whatever this access token we are received in a first API call, we need to copy and paste in that bearer token. So according to the documentation, whatever we read, we need to copy this token into the that create order API call. Then take this access token, Control C, so here copy and send the request. So here we are getting unprocessable entity. We need to solve this one. The request action could not be performed. Field unprocessable entity. So we need to solve this one. So yesterday I have solved. I created this one, create order. So in order to solve that, here see, in authorization I have copied this token, access token. So now copy this one, whatever new we are getting. So in a body, so it will give like this. Now send the request. So we will get here, see if you observe the documentation. So this is the request structure. It is the request structure curl command. Then in a response, what we are getting, if you observe one ID, a response ID, a unique ID is written back by the PayPal system. Status is we are getting payer action is required, and we are getting a two links. See here, if you are observing, we are getting the two links. One link, see here, it is a self, and the second is payer action. Payer action means the buyer needs to make a payment on this URL. The same response we are getting in this Postman API call. See here, if you are observing, we are getting the ID. So the status is payer action is required. And here we are getting the two links. One link is self and the other one is a payer action. Now copy this URL. Go to the browser, open new, paste and launch the URL. So here we are getting a pop-up button. Say as per the flow, if you go after, see here, after making a create order, see post v2 slash checkout slash orders. If you go here, v2 slash checkout slash orders, okay, then we are, according to the flow, we are on the checkout page. See order created. Now then a return a order ID, see the this PayPal order API which will return a order ID to the merchant server. So this merchant server, it will return that order ID to the merchant page and launch a checkout browser pop-up. Then through this order ID, internally it is processed and we are getting the checkout browser pop-up. So now we are getting here, if you are observing the checkout pop-up page. See this one. So by using login username and password. Now we need the username and password. That buyer username and password. For that the PayPal, it has given a sandbox testing. Sandbox means we are, see here. Here we are having the email ID and password. So we are on a testing tool. In a testing tool, sandbox accounts. In that sandbox account, we are getting this URL. See, again we will go here, testing tools, sandbox account. So here if you are observing personal, we are not using for a business purpose, we are using for a personal. Then copy this email ID, go to this page, paste here. Again, copy password here. Then login. So we are on this page. See, after successful login in a PayPal, now we are able to make a payment. So in a wallet, see if you are observing in a PayPal, see here PayPal balance. See, we are having a 5,000 USD. We are making a payment of 100. Then complete the process of payment. Complete the purchase. So now see here, if you are observing example.com return URL token. So the return URL token payer ID. So we are getting one payer ID. So the payment is successful. So now go to the order here. Now go to the here sandbox account. here in a personal account. Now check the amount. Refresh the button. Check the amount is deducted or not. See, the amount is not deducted. We need to confirm the order, capture the order. The second API call, we need to make the API call. So now similarly, here go to the PayPal system, PayPal documentation here. So we are getting the, we successfully made the payment. Now then we go to the here capture payment for the order. For capture payment, same process we are following. We are copying the URL, we are pasting in a postman, and we are getting some response. Similarly, see here, I will copy this command, go through the postman, similarly import, and you will get. So we will make the second API call, that is a capture order. Same procedure, import the URL, save in a July 24 city, and make the API call. I already make, just I will show the demo here. Capture, so paste the URL, then you will get here in a authorization. In a authorization, if you observe again that access token, whatever we are received in a first API call, see the access token, whatever this access token we are received in a first auth API call, copy this and go to the capture here and paste here. Then next step is whatever the in a create order we are getting, in a create order, whatever the ID we are getting here, whatever the ID we are getting, take this ID and go to the capture, go to the capture and paste here whatever the ID which is received from the create order from the PayPal. Then go to the body, authorization, headers. So here the PayPal request ID. So though I will change this PayPal request ID. Just I have made, we need according to the documentation, it is a unique ID. Now then we will make the send request URL. So the status is completed. Now we are getting the status is completed. Now go to the here developer dashboard. Now then refresh the button. Now the amount is after that capture order, then we will get the amount is deducted from the PayPal wallet. So according to this flow, see, so after in a first API call we are receiving that order ID, that ordered ID we are using by using the second API call, that is a capture order. See, post/v2/checkout/orders. See, this order ID we are using capture, then the order is captured, checkout is complete. So on after approving the payment from the buyer only, the payment was successful. Now the next, according to the documentation, see, if you we will make one more order. So here capture payment. So the status, whatever the response we are receiving, status completed, here in we receive the status was completed. Then next, if you see to the show or confirm here show order, we will go to the show order. Next API call. Similarly, we copy the URL, we go to the postman, import the inner command. Yesterday I will that show order. Go to the show order. It is a get request. See, if you go and paste here whatever the ID we are received in a create order. Whatever the ID you are received in a create order, copy this order, Control C, go to the get order, show order, copy this one. Again authentication. In this authentication, we need to use that access token whatever we are receiving in a auth call. Copy this one. Go to the show order. Then send the request. Now, so intent ID, intent, capture and status is completed. So we are making a first as a auth API call. In that we are receiving the access token. That access token we are used for making the create order. In a create order, we are receiving a ID. That ID we are using to capture the order. So that ID we are using here, capture the order, and whatever the access token, that access token, see if you are observing that access token we are needed for the create order, for capture the order, and for show the order status. So this is the according to the documentation provided by the PayPal. See, this is show order here. Status is approved and the is the intent capture. So show details entire the payment process was completed. So according to the documentation, today we made a 4 API calls. So this is the entire flow we understood and we implemented in a Postman API call. This is the end-to-end flow of PayPal checkout. So theoretically we understood in the previous presentation and practically we are implemented how it will work. So successfully it will completed the payment. Thank you.